4, the Rana Plaza building in Savar, Bangladesh collapsed, killing 1,200 people.
The building contained garment factories which produced clothing for Joe Fresh, Benetton, and Walmart, among others.
They claim that economic troubles have turned the garment industry into a race to the bottom.
That they cannot keep track of where every garment comes from or the structural integrity of their buildings.
This is the worst garment factory disaster in human history.
To those responsible,
Your hands are not the gods you imagine them to be. When you build a house of cards, you cannot blame the wind when it all comes crashing down.
After the dust cleared and the news found stories more interesting than your negligence, the labels on your clothes must have unstitched themselves.
rattled in the closet. The inspectors told you that the wall cracks spelled run. You forced your employees to work anyway.
You've never driven to work wondering if you would be the one pulled from the rubble of the dead.
Gravity is always hungry.
Its teeth sharp. When the earth swallows, it does not ask permission.
Survivors clutch their dead children and wonder if your parents too.
You cradle wallets like newborns.
Feed them money.
That should have been spent on stronger foundations.
Do your children tell you that you smell of smoke and human flesh?
When they ask you what you do for work, what could you possibly say other than
dirty money?
And murder. You don't call it murder when the victims are inside sweatshops.
You don't call it slavery because the chains of poverty are invisible.
When you're starving, lost wages can feel like a gun to your head.
The media treated this story as if it was a passing thing.
They did not nail the cost of 1,200 dead to your door like an unpaid bill.
It seems you're not the only one who thinks that ignoring a problem will make it go away.
Closing your eyes is not the same thing as being blind.
Death is the price you cannot roll back. How many workers have to die
Or the story isn't something that has to be dug up
before you'll add employee mortality into the overhead cost?
Before the term acceptable loss becomes unacceptable.
I want you to tell me a dollar folding isn't the same as a body breaking.
That overtime isn't the only path that you allow the poor to dig away out of their own graves.
The value of life doesn't change with geography.
No amount of wealth is worth a single drop of blood.
Our lives are like the things we build.
Sometimes they fall down for a good reason.
Sometimes they fall down for no reason at all.
Sometimes the weight of what we think we need buries us before we have a chance to cash in.
Whether you are back in your office in the sky or not.
Whether you turn your back on the dead or not, at least the dead have been set free.
You are the one forever trapped in the ugliest wreckage.
Buried alive by the weight of what you've done.
And no rescue is coming. Let me sing out here, grab up the stage.